Hi, I'm Shelby, and I'm going to be talking about Mordechai Vanunu, who also went by John Crossman, which was the name given to him when he was baptized in Australia as a Christian. He was a former Israeli nuclear technician and peace activist who was born in Marrakech, French Morocco, on October 14, 1954, who is now married to Kristin Josemine, who is a Norwegian theologist professor. The key topics I'm going to be talking about are Vanunu got a job at the Negev Nuclear Research Center where he took photos that could prove that the people that run it were doing very illegal, dangerous activities. Mordechai was sentenced, also I'm going to talk about Mordechai was sentenced to prison for 18 years, and from then on his life was very lonely. First, Mordechai applied for a job to work at the Negev Nuclear Research Center as a technician trainee in 1976. The facility was active between 1962 and 1964. The research center was developed and manufactured nuclear weapons located in the Negev Desert south of Dimona. All of the facilities remains highly classified. In 1977, he was employed at the nuclear plant, and after 8 years of working at the facilities, he was demoted and he wanted to do something other than that, and they wouldn't promote him or anything. So he decided to quit, and they gave him a severance pay of $7,500 and a reference letter praising his work and describing his departure as a layoff. Before deciding to quit, he decided to smuggle in a camera and take photographs of all of the things in the nuclear facility. In 1986, Mordechai went to Britain to sell his pictures and stories to the Israel nuclear weapons program. Impatiently waiting for them to print his story, he went sightseeing where he was honey-trapped by the Mossad agent named Sidney. He was then kidnapped, drugged, and smuggled out of the country to Israel, where they chained him to a bed for 7 days. After arriving to Israel, he was sentenced to 18 years in prison for a very hushed and hurried court. Mordechai spent 18 years in an Israel prison for revealing highly classified details about Israel's nuclear weapon program. 10 out of his 18 years he spent in solitary confinement. After being released in 2004, he was charged with numerous accounts for petty charges. Here are some of the things that he was prohibited to do. He was not allowed to have any contact with foreigners. No phones and internet was monitored. He couldn't use internet chat rooms, not allowed to own a cell phone, and could not leave the country. In 2007, he went back to prison for 6 months for violating legal order. Vanunu went to jail for 11 weeks because he broke terms of his release by meeting a foreigner in 2011. On April 21, 2013, he was accused of meeting two foreign citizens at the Jerusalem Hotel in East Jerusalem, arranging in advance without getting permission. Vanunu was also sentenced to house arrest for giving an interview more than a decade after he finished his 18-year sentence. He was then again arrested for doing another interview with Channel 2 TV in 2015 about classified information that was censored out of previous interviews. Vanunu still remains in Israel, where he is converted to Christianity and only wishes to be with his wife in Norway. In conclusion, Mordechai Vanunu sold classified information and has been in and out of prison for numerous occasions. He has also been nominated and awarded several peace prizes. Like in September in 2004, he was awarded the Leon I Grant for Peace, and in September 2004, he was elected by students of the University of Glasgow to serve 3 years as rector, but he had to decline because of his confined to Israel. Also, in 2005, he received a Peace Prize of the Norwegian people. On the 24th of February 2010, he declined the nomination of the Nobel Peace Prize. Although he got a lot of nominations, he declined some October 4, 2007, the International League of Human Rights awarded him the Karl von Bosky Medal. To this day, Israel has acknowledged that it has a nuclear arsenal instead of maintaining a policy of nuclear ambiguity, while vowing that it is not be the first to use nuclear weapons in the Middle East. In a press conference, vanunu once said, "I did not seek to harm Israel, but rather to warn people of the enormous danger. I do not seek to harm Israel now. I want to work for world peace and abolish of nuclear weapons. I want the human race to survive." Into that in my opinion, Mordecai knew what he was doing was wrong, but it was also to warn and help people know and understand what is going on in their country and in that facility. And to me, I think that he did a very good job in what he did, and he stuck with it. And although he was imprisoned for several years and getting charged with all these petty charges, he is still awarded peace prizes. So that means he's a good person deep down. He did the right thing. And that's what I have to say about Mordecai vanunu.